Lambo has dropped the series to Clem, but outside of that, has been looking powerful against all these other opponents. But we'll see if that trend continues, as spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ShaDoWn. We go, and yeah, I'm getting a bit of deja vu. We've seen Lambo quite a lot on Oceanborn. The last time we saw Lambo on Oceanborn, if you remember, was against Australia, where Australia went for a Void Ray opener into a third base into a carrier rush. Lambo didn't really scout what was happening, but he was just going for his own all-in anyway. All-ins are a lot more commonplace on Oceanborn just because the rush distance by ground is very short. When I say all-in, I mean like 3-base all-in, whether it's a Queen Walk across the map or a German Taxi or different variations are all available here for the Zerg. So I'm curious if Lambo is going to be taking a more aggressive kind of outlook on this game again, or if he calms down a little bit. We shall see. As for now, it's going to be a gate expand, standard opener out of ShaDoWn. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of Lambo. ShaDoWn going for a very interesting opener. I just realized that ShaDoWn opted not to go for the probe block. Didn't go for the probe scout, didn't deny this expansion from being taken. So yeah, ShaDoWn being a lot more economic focused, avoiding any kind of probe scout. It is a risky move. It's a corner that you can cut, of course. And yeah, ShaDoWn is just basically squeezing out as much economy as he can out of his workers, out of his probes. So technically more efficient here from ShaDoWn, but as a result, he doesn't know if he's being cheesed, for example. If Lambo was going for a fast gas and a fast Roach Warren, ShaDoWn would have no idea. So it is a really risky way to play. But I think it's a wise thing to do, especially in a tournament game like this. Like, Lambo isn't really that kind of player to go for early game aggression. I mentioned before that last time we saw him he did all in. That is true, but that was off of 3 bases. That's different. Not quite the same. As Lambo's taking his third, Adept has arrived, going to be threatening that free tumor, and we do get the tumor. Nice pickup. Nice pickup from ShaDoWn. Does threaten a shade into the main. Link speed on the way, we pull that gas completely once we did have enough of that link speed. So just really efficient stuff here from Lambo. ShaDoWn is once again going to be threatening a shade in towards that main. Denying a bit of scouting here, but no, looks like link speed does kick in. Lambo going straight for that main base as well, getting eyes on the Stargate opener. Stargate here at the natural. Lambo hasn't been able to see it yet, so he's a little bit in the dark. I'm sure a little bit perplexed as to what's going on. But it is going to be the Oracle first into a third base. Going to be double, should soon be triple Oracle opener out of ShaDoWn. Dipping into the main. Queens are in position though, and we should be able to force this back. We do get 2 drone kills. Oh, but the intercept. Lambo coming in from the right hand side will not get on top of the Oracle. Will manage to escape. Same time, Lambo trying to go for a link counterattack, but we have plenty at home to defend. This third base should be fine. ShaDoWn, of course, did spot those Lings, and the Lings, they do ignore the third base. They go for the pylon instead. They will be forced back. Get the third Oracle, more than enough to defend. Meanwhile, Lambo going for a very interesting follow-up here. as he's dealing with these adepts and dealing with the oracles as well. We're looking for transferring workers. We do see Lambo going for a +1 melee and a Baneling Nest. This tells us that Lambo is planning on skipping roaches. And what do you do when you skip roaches? Usually, Hydras. Usually Hydras are going to be on the way here, so Lingbane Hydra seems to be the composition of choice for Lambo. But we'll see if we can even get there, because Ling's going for a big counterattack. We do deny the shield battery. We get into some of the pylon, and probes are going down, stalkers as well. This is becoming too much. Uh-oh. This is becoming far too much here. Probes are falling left and right. 8 workers go down, 9 probes go down. And Lambo is looking comfortable, is looking pretty here. Lair is on the way. We're taking additional gases. 4th hatchery as well. Lambo looking very comfortable. And ShaDoWn across the map, struggling to recover here. How do we recover? Probe damage. The oracles, they have arrived. They pick off a queen. Not too bad. Going for a second queen as well. Gonna be able to bring that down. Not bad at all. Getting 2 queens. Can we get a 3rd? No shot. It looks like we can. We barely get a 3rd queen as well. Big pickoffs here from ShaDoWn, but at the same time, another Ling counterattack. We get another kill on another stalker. Oh my god. Additional Lings are on the way. The oracles, they're racing back home, but they just spent their energy harassing, which means they don't really have much to defend. Yeah, they arrive, but what can they really do? They force activate their pulse on me. We get another surround. Another stalker goes down. And off of purely Ling harass, Lambo, it's becoming too much. We get another 4, another 5 probe kills, another stalker. Link isn't done, by the way. It's still not done. There's that Hydra that we were talking about. Again, because of +1 melee, because of the Baneling Nest. Hydras was the next step here for Lambo. And it looks like he will get a kill on this Nexus. Something that should not have happened. ShaDoWn, sure, he was able to achieve some damage across the map, getting 3 drone kills, but he lost 16. 16 probes have gone down, and the 3rd base as well. And we're not done. No, Papi. Not even close. Getting on top of these stalkers, getting on top of the shield batteries. The oracles are out of position. We need them at home to defend. Without the oracles, these things are getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Taking out the shield battery for a second time. Lings will hold position. A little bit wasteful towards the end. Lambo has to calm down a little bit. Lings, they do get into the natural base, but likewise they're being cleaned up, but they get 12 probe kills. And we're back. Oh, we're back. We want the next. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be so close. Oh my god, as we barely keep the Nexus alive. Barely. But what's important is that behind this, Lambo, he's refining his army, getting into Hydra production, Hydra range, Hydra speed, Lingbane as well to support. And this is gonna be the killing move here from Lambo. Just has far too much to deal with, especially the kind of composition that ShaDoWn has. After losing so much, and we just ignore the Nexus. We go straight for the mineral line, straight for the army. And the Nexus will fall. Now Lambo, you can focus on the main push. Oh, do you have a disruptor? Oh my god. I'm not in love with the disruptor choice here from ShaDoWn. I think I would have liked a Colossus more, but they both have their place, they both have their purpose, and regardless, Lambo, he still would have been able to break through, regardless of what it was. It goes off. Ooh, big connection, actually. Oh my god. But GG is going to get called, and Lambo will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of Lambo. Initially, things were looking okay for ShaDoWn, is what I will say. Initially, things were looking not bad when it came to what his oracles were able to achieve. But remember, after his oracles killed 3 queens, we just flooded Lings across the map. Took down the 3rd, took down stalkers, probes, left and right. The Ling aggression from Lambo got out of hand, and with that, Lambo does take a lead in the series. does take game number 1. But now we're getting ready for game 2. We're going to be on a bit of a smaller map. We're going to be loading in to Hardland. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have our German Zerg player, our blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ShaDoWn. Lambo, of course, taking a lead in that series. What I will say is that what happened that last game was very unique. It wasn't really indicative of, you know, the player's macro or their mid-game prowess. It was just ShaDoWn kind of being punished for being too overly aggressive with his oracles and just not having enough to defend back at home against the Ling harassment of Lambo. What I'm getting at is I'm sure that won't happen again. I'm sure that ShaDoWn is going to be more adept at just keeping an oracle at home to make sure that his mineral line is safe and sound and that his base is safe and sound as well. So for the time being, we are settling into this. Lambo going for a hatch gas pull. This time, we do see the probe scout from ShaDoWn is going to be forcing the natural out of our Zerg player. And of course, we get an early scout just to make sure that no shenanigans are on the table here for Lambo. Not yet, at least. Not yet. As for now, ShaDoWn just getting into his gate expand into the cyber core. Looking to be a standard opener so far from both players. I mean, sure, Lambo is a little bit more exposed. This could actually tempt out a Twilight Council opener out of ShaDoWn. We'll see if that's going to be the case. As we have our first adept on the way. And there it is. Twilight Council gets thrown down for ShaDoWn. Let's go. Again, it is very tempting just because Lambo, he does have his building split up. Is a little bit more vulnerable to harassment. Now the question becomes, do we go for Glaives or Dark Templar? As we have pulled out of one of these gas geysers, but not the other. So this is very middle of the road. I'm getting some mixed signals, Bobby, but I believe this should be Glaives. I think we're keeping one in by accident. We'll see if it's intentional or not. And this Lambo getting his natural base up and running. There it is. Glaives is on the way. I'm really curious if this is intentional that we're leaving one of these probes in that gas geyser. Actually, this is looking like, yeah, something that has been rising in popularity amongst the European Protoss players is 3-gate blink into a third. That's at least what this looks like. Okay, there we go. We're going for a 4th gate. So we're going 4-gate blink, but there's no robo, which means there's no warp prism, which means we cannot reinforce across the map. The way this works is that because there's no robo, we have additional resources to invest into something else. And what that usually is investing into a faster expansion. So this is a way to go 4-gate blink, but a little bit less committed and can more easily transition into the mid game. The downside, usually when you go for a more traditional variation of this, is that you're stuck on 2 bases, you have to get into Immortal production or Disruptor production and slowly take a third. This is a lot more economic and a lot greedier. There it is, ShaDoWn is taking that third. Meanwhile, aggression is soon going to be upon us. We basically have to just warp in a couple of wave of adepts back at home and eventually push across the map. We'll get there. Meanwhile, Lambo taking this very seriously, going for an early Roach Warren. Droning up to 45. Lambo doesn't really know what's going on, but is aware that something is amiss. He's and Roaches in production. Creep is spreading. Lambo, are we going for our own waddle across the map? I was curious if Lambo was just being hyper defensive, but I think he wants to be the aggressor again. On hard lead. We shall see. As the ZvP do get across the map, they're going to be threading a shade towards the third base. At the same time, Lambo going for a big link counterattack. Good kiting out of ShaDoWn. Likewise, back at home, he does clean up all those lings. He has more than enough to defend. Does have more than enough. Picks off a queen. Not too bad. Immortal production has commenced. Robo's on the way. Potentially leading into Immortal production. The Forge at 4+1. There it is. We are going for the Observer first here from ShaDoWn. But again, he never committed into a mineral line, and he never had to. The mere existence of these adepts is enough to force a reaction out of Lambo, forcing him to cut his worker production earlier on. Adepts will threaten the shade. Behind this second Robo, this looks like Colossus production from ShaDoWn. Double Robo into eventually Colossi. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could use this to go into double Destructor production, but that's usually kept until a little bit later on. So you have like a proper robust Colossus-based army, then the Disruptors. Lambo is going to be forcing this back. Lambo just now joining up to 65. His fourth base is very late. Very late fourth out of Lambo. Looks like he didn't really believe that ShaDoWn was going to transition out of this. At Epsay do shade into the mineral line though. That's going to be 3 dead workers. Almost, wow, they get a fourth. We do force a recall. So pretty good damage here from ShaDoWn. Again, he barely lost any of his army. He's lost 3 adepts throughout the course of this game. 3 adepts. We have a handful of them shading or being dropped into the main. Getting a drone before we get the hell out of there. And again, the goal here for ShaDoWn isn't to kill workers, it's to keep Lambo busy while ShaDoWn builds up a death pool of an army. We already have 2 Colossi. There it is, Immortal production is commencing. So usually we go up to 4 Colossi, but ShaDoWn really wants to get into that anti-roach based composition, which makes sense. You guys seen a lot of roaches, and Colossi aren't the most ideal against them. There we go, Ravagers are on the way. ShaDoWn rotating back home. Shading on in. And as we work on that Colossus count, there it is. We have additional Colossi on the way. We have a Templar Archives as well. Shit's gonna be turtling on up. And Lambo, he's going to be committing to Lingbane Roach Ravager. So, interesting. We did manage to cast Lambo earlier today against Drogo, against some of these other Protoss players, and he was so quick to to recognize when a player was being defensive and tech up. This is a late Infestation Pit. Infestation Pit's on the way. This is going to be eventually for Hive Tech and Hydras and Lurkers and Vipers. But yeah, Lambo, he's just been having a bit of a harder time keeping up with the aggression of ShaDoWn, and he has invested quite heavily already into Lingbane Roach Ravager, and I mean, he's gonna have to use it. He's maxed out. ShaDoWn is gonna be the defender. Lambo, he needs to trade with this army, though. It is 26 Banelings on the way. The rocks are being knocked down. Did I say 26? I meant to say 38. Oh, 41. Any more Banelings? 41 Banelings on the way. That's a lot of Banelings, Papi. But we're pushing into 4 Colossus, Force Fields, Disruptor Shots. Can we pull this off? So we are going to be pushing up the ramp. Never goes up. Good connection. Banelings, they will crash in. They will connect with a couple of Stalkers, but the Colossi will stand strong. They just take the Banelings to the face. And do we have enough Roaches? Do we have enough Ravagers? The answer is we do not. We don't have enough to support them. And ShaDoWn, what did he really lose there? He lost Gateway units and 1 High Templar. He lost the Prism. He lost 1 Prism, 1 High Templar. Very acceptable losses here for the French Protoss. And Lambo, he's in a bit of trouble. He's pushing in again for a second time. That was just not a worthwhile trade. And remember, I mentioned before that Lambo's transition into Hive is a late transition. Late take here from Lambo. The Colossus does overextend. Never going to be going up. Big connection on the Roach Ravager. Does take down an Archon, but they may just be worth it. 2 Colossi will go down, but we dive on top of the army. ShaDoWn gets to clean this up. And do we push? We may. From here, we're chasing this down. ShaDoWn, he can smell blood in the water. He's going to be pushing. We do have a lot of reinforcements. We got to calm down. Lambo's got a lot of reinforcements on the way. ShaDoWn, calming things down, backing up. How many Immortals do we have? We have 6 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. A lot of Immortals here. ShaDoWn is going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. Diving on top of this, cleaning up a lot of that creep. Lambo is still stuck on Ling Main Roach Ravager. We have a couple of Vipers on the way. We have a Lurker Den on the way as well, but this may just be too little too late. Vipers, if we can gather up energy, then we can defend. We can pick up and yoink those Colossi and Disruptors and Immortal and everything. But we need time. There it is. Vipers have arrived. They're gathering up energy at the natural. ShaDoWn is going to be pushing. Cleaning up some of these things. Hive Tech, well, the Hive is done. Hive Tech on the way with those upgrades. But Lambo is still stuck with Ling Main Roach Ravager. And this army from ShaDoWn, it is becoming terrifying. 2 Colossi. Do you have Storm? We do. Storm is done. Getting into Immortal production. Speaking of the Storms have been thrown down. And big Storms here on the Roaches. We graze the Ling Bane. We yoink the Colossi. Good pickups. We only get 1 though. And it looks like we're setting up first around. The Ling Bane has run out, and ShaDoWn is looking to chase this down. Oh, that is 14 dead workers though. The hefty amount of economic damage was done. ShaDoWn though still, I would say, ahead in economy here against Lambo, despite losing all those probes. And Lambo is going for a big Ling counterattack at the same time. ShaDoWn, he's committed. We're going for a bit of a base trade. Banelings being shaved off. The center base is going to be going down, but we ignore it. We go straight for the Juggler, straight for the natural. The Lings did get a kill in the Nexus and 13 probes. Lings, they're coming in from behind, but big storms here on the, oh my, massive storms on the Lings. And it looks like ShaDoWn, he has too much. GG gets called. ShaDoWn fights back, putting a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. Again, Lambo, unlike some, we brought it up, unlike some of the previous games that we've casted already from Lambo, specifically this game, he had a really hard time recognizing the playstyle of ShaDoWn, the fact that he was going double robot production into Colossus, going for a 4th, going for a 5th, just a very defensive tech heavy style. As a result, we had a really late transition into Hive tech from Lambo. He was stuck with Ling Main Roach Ravager, and that's a unit composition that can work, especially if your opponent's being aggressive. But pushing into these defensive lines, as we saw, just did not work out. Time and time again, ShaDoWn just traded far too efficiently, and in the end, was able to take it, was able to tie the series 1-1. We go into the ace match. We are going all the way to game 3. Here we go. See Chase and chat. Hello, Chase. Hello. Buen día, gente. Ah, buen día, papi. Buen día. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta in the ace match. Game number 3. It all ends here and now. Will it go the way of the Protoss or the Zerg? Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is ShaDoWn. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion, being forced into the ace match. It is Lambo. Here we go. Lambo once again going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. Winding it back, if you remember, ShaDoWn did have a very interesting opener. He went Glaive Adepts, yes, but he went for a very economic variation of Glaive Adepts. Was able to trade well, kill some workers, expand behind it, and get into a good position in the mid game. We'll see if Lambo has a different approach this time. ShaDoWn as well. I'm curious. So we are just going to be setting things up here. Getting into our openers. Again, nothing too wild so far. Outside of Lambo being forced to take a much more exposed base, this could tempt ShaDoWn once again to go into a Stargate opener. The downside here is that we do have a point of elevation leading into the natural. It's a very unique feature of side Delta, and does make it a little bit easier to defend against aggression. So I'm curious if ShaDoWn is going to try and embrace the Twilight Council. This pylon, it looks like a Stargate. The pylon is far forward, closer to the edge of the map, or the edge of the main. Stargate should be the opener of choice. There it is, so Stargate is on the way. Should be an Oracle-based opener. I'm curious if ShaDoWn is willing to embrace the Void Ray first. We saw it out of Estrella earlier today. Void Ray openers, they have their place in this matchup, and they've been quite trendy as of late, but I'm not too sure if ShaDoWn is willing to embrace that. I'm here for it. We'll see. See where our unit takes us. Now ShaDoWn just going to be threatening these shades. Just being as active as possible in between the bases. Before being forced back. Stargate is done. And it is going to be an Oracle first, not a Void Ray from ShaDoWn. So much more standard opener. This should be leading into a second and then a third Oracle. Then of course into that third base. Third base should soon be taken. Meanwhile, we have Adepts again dancing with the army of Lambo. Picking up a couple of Lings. Nothing too crazy though. A couple of Lings will go down. Oracle has hit the field. Adepts, they're trying to make their way back home, but it looks like Lambo will shut them down. Does get one. Does get one in the end. And ShaDoWn, he does have to retreat. And he's still stuck on 2 bases. We need that third. Oracle gets across the map. We do get a handful of drones. 3 in total. Not bad. The Oracle will escape. And, oh, ShaDoWn on 2 bases. He's throwing down 3 more gateways and a Twilight Council. This is wild. Okay. This looks like Glaive Adepts. Third base is going to be delayed. We're going to kill in the probe. No forge, by the way, and the Overlord comes in. We get a full scout. Oh god, this is not ideal here for ShaDoWn. The jig is up, and there it is. There's glaives on the way. Again, the tell for this is the lack of forge, lack of +1. And Lambo sees. He sees everything. I mean, for all Lambo knows, there could be a forge in the natural, but unlikely. Lambo got to respond with a Baliness. Bold move, by the way, out of Lambo. This is crazy. Going for Ling Bane to defend, not roaches. See if we can pull it off. Not impossible, just a little bit more difficult. Essentially, the game you play there is the... Oh god, it's the Oracles. They're coming from behind! They will get a couple of drone kills before being forced back. But essentially, the Balins have to keep up with the Shades. They have to keep up with the Shades of the Adepts, and if that's possible, then we can, again, deny Warp-ins or deny Shades and defend. But it's very positional based. And here we go, the Adepts are soon pushing out. Speaking of, before we can really push out the Lings, they do wreak havoc here at the third. Get a couple of probes. Deaths have been revealed. They're going to be shading across the map. Lambo already has Balings in production. Things are getting in position. And it's right. It's all or nothing here for ShaDoWn. He's pretty committed with this. He needs to get damage done. He gives it a shade! Right into the Balings. Balings, they will crash in. And we will clean up these Adepts. This was not the shade we were looking for. As ShaDoWn will escape with... No, he will lose every single Adept. This was not worth it. That was 12 Adepts for one drone. One worker went down. Sure, we traded with Lings, but I mean, that's what Lambo wanted. Now he's getting ready for a counterattack. ShaDoWn moving up with another handful of Adepts. Sentries are in position. We can force field. Behind this Lambo, he's free to drone. We have the Lair on the way. Roach Warren. Taking additional gases. A couple of Adepts did get across the map, as we mentioned before. One Adept is going to fall. We do get 2 drones in total, and we can maybe get a third. Oh, we get a third. 3 drones for 2 Adepts. This is okay. It's okay. Not ideal, though. It's a bit of a Baleen Waddle, but I did crash into that shield battery. ShaDoWn able to respond in time. Behind this is getting into double over Colossus production. Likewise, Lambo going straight for the infestation pits, racing into the end game. I mean, Lambo's already got 83 drones. Like, his economy is already ideal. What does Lambo really need to get away with here, or what does he need to take into? Of course, he can get into Hydrolurk and Viper. If he wanted to, he could try to double down on Lingbane Roach Ravager, but that's not really what we want to work with. We could also do something crazy. Based on the upgrades with +2 melee, we could try to rush into something like Ultras. That'd be wild. Not unheard of in this matchup. Dark does it from time to time with mixed success. I'm curious if Lambo is willing to do the same. We do not have a Hydroden yet. No Hydroden. We should be throwing one down soon, but without it, this hive could be for something different. Could we actually go Ultra? Maybe. Maybe. Now Lings are moving out. We do have Lings also hitting that third base as well, getting a couple of probe kills, distracting the main army. Lambo supply-wise snowballing out of control. Will we be able to see what the hive is for? As we catch the Stalkers. Lambo moving out. He needs to trade out some of his army, and he's trading very damn well. Takes down some Stalkers. threads the third. Here we go. ShaDoWn, he's pretty committed at this point. It's like he doesn't have a fourth. He is losing workers here at his third base. It's all or nothing for ShaDoWn. Time, meanwhile, is working on Lambo's side. We got Vipers on the way, Banelings, a couple of Roaches, reinforcements. And ShaDoWn is going to retreat. I mean, I also don't think he has enough to break Lambo, but at the same time, we got to do something. And there we go, we're forcing a recall. Lambo, he has broken the third base. Bailey's going to be rolling in. 6 probes go down. The Colossi will hold. Probes are going to be able to go back to mining. But Lambo is just getting ready for another run by. Run bys that don't stop. Likewise, we're going for a Colossus drop. Nina, is that you? Okay. I mean, there's potential in the Colossus drop, but this also feels a little bit of a desperation move here from ShaDoWn. Being as active as he can. At the same time, the Ling Bane rolls in, and this time we get into the middle line. The probes, they will all go down. Big connections. We have the Vipers, we have the Yoinks, we do get one of the Colossus, the other barely does escape, but we just may have too much on the ground. The Colossus does get picked off. We have 2 more coming in from the third base. At the same time, we get back into the mineral line, and we're just pulling ShaDoWn apart. As Ling Bane everywhere, at the third, at the fourth. It looks like ShaDoWn is going to be able to hold on to his fourth base, but GG gets called because he has lost everything else. And Lambo will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Lambo did come in as the favored player and was looking damn dominant in that last game. But a shout out to ShaDoWn. Shout out to ShaDoWn for forcing the ace match, for getting a solid win on the board in game number 2. To be able to tie things up and force that game number 3 as well. And yeah, GG, well played ShaDoWn. Really making Lambo work for it, despite the perceived skill gap, despite Lambo being a more household name in the European scene. ShaDoWn was able to take a game and able to put a point on the board. But now it all comes down to this.